Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I'm going back to uni today, so I thought I'd quickly start this video before I leave. But today's video I'm going to be reading I don't know if it's called The Crowns of Nyaxia or the Nightborn duet, because there's both on the cover, so I'll have to have a look. But I'm going to stick with The Crowns of Nyaxia for now. I don't think I'm saying that right, but I'm going to be reading The Crowns of Nyaxia duology. So I started this last night. I'm only just over 40 pages through. I thought I'd just give you a quick run through before I leave, but when you next see me I will be in my uni room. This book is based off a human girl living in a world of vampires. So she is the only one in kind of like her district type thing that is a human. A lot of people have said this book is very similar to Powerless, because obviously in Powerless Payton is the only one without magical powers where she lives, and it's a bit like that here, but it's just she's the only one that isn't a vampire. So apparently this book, from what I've heard, this book is kind of like a mixture of Powerless vibes, Hunger Games vibes, that sort of thing. So Araya is the human girl, and there is a tournament type thing every so many years called Kajari, and it's held by the goddess of death herself, Nyaxia. Basically whoever wins this like set of trials, I think it's 5 trials over 4 months, whoever wins the trials gets granted a gift, and Araya wants to become a vampire. So this is a romantasy, because I think she gets involved with someone called Rain. I don't know how, I'm really bad at pronouncing names. I think his name is Rain. But we've not met him yet. But according to the back of the book, it's an enemies to lovers dark romantasy, which I've not really read a dark romance before, so it'll be interesting. I would show you the other book, but it is in this bag of stuff somewhere that I'm taking back with me to uni. But this is the first one. I always feel like the first kind of like quarter of a book is normally just getting into the book, so I haven't really got much to say so far, but I am enjoying the dialogue so far, and that's about it. So I will see you all probably when I'm back at uni. I am now back in my uni room and I am reading my book. It feels weird to be back. Like, I enjoy being back at uni, but it takes a while to adjust, because where I live at home it's always really quiet and it's just nice, and like especially when I'm home alone it's like silent, whereas here there's always something going on. Like right now in the kitchen they've got music on, they're playing darts, just fine, but like it's very overwhelming when I've been used to being at home for the past few weeks. So I'm just chilling in my room reading my book. I've just turned the oven on in the kitchen. I'm gonna make myself some dinner. I think I might have it in my room tonight, just because I am feeling really overwhelmed, and just get some reading done. I think I'm gonna try and get early night. I've got my food shop coming later, but aside from that I think I'm gonna get an early night and just spend it by myself this evening. But I've unpacked most of my stuff now. I do need to tidy my room because my room's a tip, but I've unpacked most of my stuff, so I take it as a win for today. But yeah, for now I'm just going to sit and read some of my book. I am now in the competition, so I am 68 pages in, so they've entered the competition, so it's now sort of all like getting into it. I mean, it was sad, like I've already had a sad moment in the book and we're literally 68 pages in, so I don't know how that's going to set me up for the rest of the book. But yeah, I'm going to sit and read now while I'm waiting for the oven to heat up. I'm now 100 pages into The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and they've just finished their first trial, so I'm kind of still getting to know the characters, even though we are 100 pages in, because it's quite a long book. I think it's like, how long is this book? It's almost 600 pages long, so we're still kind of like, it feels like we're still getting to know all the characters and everything. We've not met all the characters yet. So Rain, the main male character in this book, we've just met him. Obviously the story follows Araya, so we know her like more, but yeah, I'm getting to know the characters a little bit, but I think in the next few chapters will be when the connections start happening and things. So yeah, I've not really got much to update on at the moment, because we are still like at the beginning of the book. So I have now reached part 3 of the book, and I really like how this book is separated into parts, because the different tasks are to do with the different like moon cycles. So the first section of the book is just called Dusk, and then it goes on to Full Moon for part 2, and then we're now about to enter waning moon, which is very cool. Also, I forgot to mention earlier, there is also a map at the front, and I love when fantasy books have maps, so there is one here. And I'm going to call it a night because I'm tired, so I'm going to head to bed. I know, because today is Tuesday, Thursday and Friday I'm not going to be able to read hardly any, if at all, because I've got placement, so I'm going to be out all day. But I'm going to try and get some reading done tomorrow and over the weekend. But I'm really enjoying it so far, and we're definitely like starting to get into it now, which is fun. It is now the next day. I've been out with my friends today. We went into town and we went to Nando's for lunch, and I'm back now, and let me show you. We've got snow. Look how lovely. I've popped my heater on. I've made myself a Galaxy hot chocolate, and I'm going to get in bed and read some of my book. It just feels super cozy, so I'm going to sit and read some of this. I read some this morning when I woke up, so I'm now on page 143, but I've also got my hot water bottle, so I'm going to get in bed and do a bit of reading while I'm feeling nice and cozy. I'm now on page 251 of the book, and it's getting really good. It's getting, am I zoomed in? Yeah, it's getting more action packed now, and the relationship between Araya and Rain is like really developing, sort of thing. Not like romantically developing, but just the fact that, I don't know, you can just tell their relationship is developing from the beginning. Also, ignore my hair, it's still like half wet. But I've currently got my coffee. I've been loving the caramel latte packs you can get, like the little sachets you can get that you just pour hot water into. But I'm having one of those pretty much every day, so I'm going to have my coffee and carry on reading. There's a quote that I'm going to read to you. It's not a spoiler, but if you don't want to hear anything from the book, then just feel free to skip. He was on his knees, staring up at me, and that, the way he looked at me, was the first thing that felt real and raw and confusing, because he looked at me in sheer awe, like I was the most incredible thing he'd ever seen, like I was a goddess. I'm really liking how this is going. I'm also really enjoying at the moment that it's like both the trials and there's also like political stuff going on too, so it's not just the trials and them in like the Moon Palace, there's both things going on, so there's like more than one story going, not more than one story going on, but there's more than one thing to focus on, which I think is really interesting. So it is now the evening, and I am now on page 406. I am hopefully going to finish this book in the next day or two, and then I can start with the next one, which I've already got here. I think the next one's actually bigger. I'm not sure how many pages the second book in the series is. Let's have a look. So the next one is The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. This one's like 750 pages. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the second book. So obviously the first book is all about the Kajari, which is the like tournament. So it'll be interesting. I feel like maybe the second book might be more to do with like the stuff that's going on in the background of this book, like all the political stuff maybe. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens at the end of this tournament, because they're now on the Crescent Moon task. So I think there's one more task after this one, which is the New Moon task. Yeah, the New Moon task. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at the end of this book, kind of like, yeah, what happens at the end of the tournament, like who wins, because obviously only one person can win. Is it going to be Rhea? Is it going to be Rain? Is it going to be someone else? Is it going to be neither of them? Both of them? Who knows? And if Rhea does win, is she still going to decide to become, like, is she still going to stick to her wish that she wanted? We'll find out. I'm pretty sure, because obviously these two books are duology, and I'm pretty sure there's another duology which is like linked to this one but to do with Misha's character. So I want to look and see if those books are good as well, because I really like Misha's character. I have now got about 80 pages of the book left, and I can tell it's going to be sad soon. I almost just cried at one of the quotes. If you don't want to spoil, I'll just skip 10 seconds. The quote was, "So don't you dare stop fighting, princess. It would break my damned heart." That almost broke my heart. But I've not got much left now. Also, spice-wise, so far, I mean, bearing in mind we've literally got 80 pages left, this book has only had one spice scene, and that was at about page 450, I'd say. So I mean, you can get all this way through the book without any spice. So if you're a bit like me and you don't mind reading a bit of spice, but you don't want it to be the main plot or the main point, this is absolutely fine because it's literally one chapter. So yeah, but obviously if you don't like spice at all, then don't. But yeah, it's literally got one chapter of it, which I assume is probably going to be all it's going to have, because they're about to go into the last trial, so unless they're getting on at the last trial, I think we'll be okay. I have currently got about 80 pages left of the book, so I'm going to finish it tonight. I just read a quote that I really like, and it says, "I needed it to hurt more everywhere else, so it hurt less in my heart." I like that quote. But yeah, I've got this much left here, so I'm going to finish that this evening. And if I want to quickly show you a book, it's not to do with this series, but I ordered it from the works the other day because Powerless is probably my favourite fantasy book that I've read. I absolutely loved it when I read it last year. And for the other two books in the series, I managed to get the copies from the works with these bits, but for the first one I didn't. However, the other day they went back on sale in the works, and I managed to get the edition with this really beautiful edging, and it's so pretty, and it's only £5 from the works. Just before the final book of the series comes out, I'm going to reread this one and then read the rest of the series, and I'm going to annotate it. Yeah, I just thought I'd show you because I was very happy with that. I feel like all these plot twists are happening in the last like 100 pages. I'm currently on page 529, so I think I've got about like 35 pages left, and there's been so many plot twists already. I am now going on to the final part, which is part 7 at night, and then I will be finished. So I'm going to get through this, and I'm going to make myself a cup of tea and have a sweet treat, and I will give you my final update once I've finished. I have now finished The Serpent and the Wings of Night, the first book of the Nightborn duet. It is now the next day, so I finished reading The Serpent and the Wings of the Night last night. I am just about to start on the first couple of chapters on the Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. My review on this book, so I gave it 4 stars on my Goodreads. I really enjoyed it, but it wasn't like a 5 stars for me. For me, a 5 stars, like, there's just a 5-star feeling, you know, like I can't explain it, but for a book to be 5 stars, I know it's 5 stars. And this one didn't quite have that. I don't know what it was, but it didn't quite have that like 5-star feel. Like, for example, Powerless is my biggest 5-star feel when I read that book. I did really enjoy it though, and I loved how the sections of the books were made. So like how there were the different moons for each section, obviously the different trials about the different moons. I don't know, I really enjoyed that. And I like the whole plot of it, how each of their trials was to do with, I still can't say these names properly, but each of the trials in the trial were to do with Nyaxia's, like, her trials in life and her experiences, which I thought was quite cool, like an interesting take. I like the romance in this because the whole book wasn't surrounded by the romance, but there was enough of it. I love enemies to lovers, that's like my favourite trope, and yeah, I enjoyed how there was the plot and there was so much going on, so it wasn't just their relationship. And also there was only, like I mentioned before, there was only like one spicy chapter in this book, which I think for me is something that I like, because I don't like books where it's just every single other chapter, because it's like, okay, whereas like I feel like it was nice because it was just one chapter, and yeah, it was a good good amount in here. But I'm interested to see what the relationship's going to be like in this next book because of the ending of this book. The ending of this book was a plot twist that I was not expecting to happen. I did not see that coming. Sometimes I can kind of tell what the ending is going to be like and what the plot twists will be, but this one I had no idea. Obviously this book was all to do with the trials of the Kajari and kind of more focused on the trials rather than what was going on outside of the trials, whereas obviously now that the tournament's over, I assume this book will be focused on the outside world and the politics and what was happening while they were doing the trials outside. I'm then going to read the prologue and the first chapter now because I've got some uni work to get on with, but I would like to start it, so I'm going to get started now. So prologue and first 2 chapters have been read and I'm already really enjoying it. I think I do often like second books because you kind of get straight into the action, like because it's the second book of the series there's no need for like introductions and world building, which I do love as well, but you're just straight into the action, which is great. And also there's dual POV, which there was not in the first book. The first book was it from Araya's point of view or was it just third person? Yes, so the first book was Araya's point of view, so it was all her thoughts, but I love dual POV books and this book is both Araya and Rain, so very exciting. But I've read the first, I'm now on page 30, so I'm going to make myself a coffee and then do some work. I think I'm going to kind of go between work and reading, just like have little breaks and do some reading. I did not expect this book to be getting me so emotional. I'm currently on page 411 and I'm tearing up, but it is getting so good. I'm over halfway through now and today and tomorrow I want to read quite, well, I say today, it's the evening now, but tomorrow I want to read quite a bit because I'm on placement all weekend. But yeah, it's getting emotional. I am really getting into it. Sorry about the lighting, I've literally only got this light on in my bedroom at the moment, but I've only got, how many pages? I think I've got less than 200 pages. I think I've got like 150 pages left. I'm now on to part 6, the full moon, and it is getting, oh my god, this like, it's, I don't know how to explain it. Like I feel like the first book was a lot more action packed because obviously there's the trial in each section, there's a lot more going on, the story's developing, whereas this one is more set in like the politics outside of the Kajari and the sort of war going on outside of that, and then Araya and Rain's place in that war. It wasn't slow moving, but it just wasn't as like action packed as the other one, but it now is. And we've just met I won't spoil it, but we've just met a character who was only mentioned a couple of times in the book, but I can already tell it's going to be a big change in like dynamic and stuff. And if you can hear the wind outside, we're quite in the middle of a storm here. It's currently 11:20 and I've got my lecture at 1 o'clock, so I do need to get up, get ready and make some food, and I'm going to meet my friends as well at the cafe at like 12:30, so I do need to actually get out of bed soon, but I think I'm going to read one more chapter and then read some more tonight. I'm currently on page 604 and I'm getting literal shivers at the moment from this book. The bottom half of this page, if you've read it or you're reading it, the bottom half of this page, I don't know why, well I do know why, but like it actually gave me shivers. Like when she says the smile broke out over my face before I could stop it, a big stupid grin, and then the bit that's, and then far below them to the west was another welcome sight. That like paragraph. But I'm gonna try and read a fair bit tonight. How many pages have I got left? About 120 pages left, so I'm gonna probably read about like 20-30 more pages maybe tonight and then read the rest tomorrow because I'm going to finish this tomorrow. Like most books I end up spoiling for myself. Like the ending I normally end up accidentally spoiling, or like, cause I'm that person who when I get to an end of a chapter, if I know I'm gonna then put the book down for the evening, I'll sort of like skim read the next few like pages just to sort of see what goes on. So I normally end up spoiling the book for myself, but this time I've not even let myself look at the last like few pages or anything, so I have no idea what happens in like any of this. But yeah, I'm so excited to finish it and then actually pick out what my next read is going to be. I've got a few different ideas for my next read, but I'm not entirely sure yet. I am now on to part 7, which is Dawn, but I've got to say part 6, Full Moon, this bit here, was probably my favourite part of the whole book. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens now and kind of how the book is concluded, because there was a section with two of the gods, well, there's a section with 2 of the goddesses which kind of implied something might happen, well, something is going to happen. So I wonder if that'll be in this book or what's going on, but yeah. I am, well, I've technically finished the book, but I'm now on the bonus chapter. I've only got about 3 pages left, but I'm going to go make my dinner, and then after dinner I'm going to read. Yeah, I've literally got 3 pages left, so I'm so close to finishing, but I'm going to go make some food and then finish. I thought I'd film the outro to this video, but evidently I had not. So I finished the book, and I overall rated the series a 4 stars. It wasn't quite a 5 stars for me, because 5 stars is just like a 5-star feeling, like you know when it's a 5 stars. It wasn't quite 5 stars for me, but I did really enjoy it, and I definitely want to read Misha's books, because her books, so Salinay, is it like Salinay? Salinage? I think Salinay is like where the books are set, so like the city the books are set in. But I believe Misha's books are set somewhere else, but within the same universe, which I think would be quite cool to see different parts of the universe. So I definitely want to read her books, because I really liked her character as well. But if there's any other books you want me to do videos on or review or read, then let me know in the comments, and I will see you all soon for another video.